Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome back to another rambunctious event. Yes, it's Thirsty Thursdays, Sense and Nonsense, the first of which was April 23rd, 2020. I think a little bit later than Joe thought it was, but I looked it up today, and then I started listening to the one. I went through it twice. They have a sorting function in my distribution service, but it doesn't work for just one select podcast. I think it does for all, so I couldn't do it by date, so I had to look at them all. But then I played it, and it was definitely the first one. And we were introducing the podcast and saying what we were going to do, and what we've done is, well, about 100 of them since then. Over 5 years of Thirsty Thursdays, fact checks, beers. We brought along Santa Fe liquors along the way. They have our beer today, which we will be sampling first. And then we have another one we'll be sampling second. That's how it works. You can't do them both at the same time. Anyway, Joe's got a rather robust fact check, which is fun. And I did my duty with my research for the very first one. I think you thought we started in 19, and I was pretty sure we started in 20. But no, that's it. You absolutely thought it was sooner.
Oh, my God.
That's a fact check anyway, except it's probably 3 episodes back, so you don't want to do all that work. Anyway, we are both busy folks. We both had busy days. We are ready to settle in and check our facts and drink our beers and have some fun. Yes, indeed, it's Thirsty Thursdays, over 5 years in on the Reasonably Irreverent podcast, and right here, right now, and next.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, basketball's over, football's still a few months away, but there's always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Absolutely. We've always got something going on here. The games are always going on. It's a great place to come enjoy everything out on the patio. Beautiful scenery out there. Great beer. I've got a great brewer, great food. It's always fun here at the brewery.
And the atmosphere is great and friendly and warm, too.
We always want to make sure you're a lot happier when you leave than you were when you came in.
Always fun here at the 23rd Street Brewery at 23rd and Castle. Make sure to come by when you're in Lawrence. If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Danny, we're back, you lying SOB. I'm the one that said it was 2020. You're the one that said it was 2019.
No.
Yes, I will play it for you, bro.
You may have said it was 2020, and I may have thought it started in maybe 2021. You thought it started longer ago. I know that.
No, 0% chance. 0% chance. I thought it was newer. You thought it was pre-COVID. That's where we argued about it.
Well, it was pre-COVID.
No, it isn't.
When was COVID? Well, COVID basically started Big 12 Tournament 2020, right?
Yeah, so this is after COVID was started.
Well, there we go, yeah. I try to put COVID right out of my mind, to be honest.
I did this as part of the fact check this time. I went back and looked up the date because I was like, no way Danny remembers to do this.
Well, there it is. I did it. I said it before we started up that I was going to have a big surprise for you, and I guess it was a surprise that I did my work.
The liner notes on that episode says, a new addition to the lineup.
Aha. So did you look up? Oh, you looked it up on Apple Podcasts,
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, I looked up on Spreaker, which is my distribution service, which feeds it to the likes of Apple Podcast.
Danny, you
Yes.
brought me a line and Kugel's Oktoberfest.
I did. Pat Allen of Santa Fe Liquors had some various Oktoberfests out, and I didn't pick two of them. I actually picked just one, and I said, well, we're certainly going to go with the Leinenkugel Oktoberfest, and you have had a sip, and I am going to join you now. I'm very thirsty.
I've had a little more than a sip. This is so good, obviously. Big Line of Kugel's fan.
That is tasty.
It is a very,
it's a very
light,
smooth, light.
It's a very light Oktoberfest, but it gives you some beery Oktoberfest feels, right?
Right. If you are somebody who doesn't go in for Oktoberfest style beers, I think you're really going to like this one because this really is just a good beer. It doesn't really taste like an Oktoberfest.
Not much. No, it almost tastes like a Shinerbach, almost to me.
A little bit,
but it's very good. It's very good. I'm gonna go yard beer ish. I'm gonna call it a 7.8 for me. 7.8.
Well, you love you some Liney, so I'm not going to go to that extent for a good lager is what I'm going to call it. A nice clean lager, not really an Oktoberfesty flavor to it. I'm going to go 7.0, a solid 7.0.
I'm also very thirsty.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to be done with this beer before this segment is over.
No, there's no rule that says we have to wait till the second segment to open the next beer.
Well, it's kind of turned into a thing.
It's tradition, but traditions are made to be broken, Danny.
I don't know. Then we would, the part of the plan, if we ever even have a plan for this thing, is to have a rating for each segment.
Well,
so people know where to find it.
We save the rating. Hey, anyway, we're back after only 2 weeks, Danny.
That's right.
How about that?
On a regular schedule now. It
bong.
might be a challenge the next time. I think we'll be able to, it just depends on you probably because, well.
You got your high school reunion coming up?
Yeah, but we're leaving Thursday, so that's in 2 weeks. We're leaving Thursday, so that shouldn't be a problem. It's just whether life gets in the way, as it sometimes does.
Yeah, you see I've got my Indian Hills Middle School cross-country T-shirt on here. My daughter dominated yesterday.
What a champ. I mean, we are squeezing this podcast in between Joe picking up his daughter from cross-country and then taking her to soccer.
Yeah, it's, it's a busy time around here when Mama's out of town, buddy. Yesterday, my daughter in the 2-mile cross-country, 8th grade, beat the second place finisher in 2-mile by 27 seconds.
That's a hefty win. That is a hefty win. What'd she run?
She was mad at her time. She'd be mad if I said it, but she ran like a 13:04, which she wasn't very happy with.
That's 6.5 minute miles.
And it was super hilly. It's out at Shawnee Mission Park. Super hilly, super dusty. But she was mad about it. She doesn't like to end in the 13s, Danny. She wants to be in the 12s. I think her best time's 12:04.
That's nice.
On the 2-mile cross country. Hey, you said we've got a robust fact check, and we do, so we better jump into this. What do you say,
let's
Danny?
go.
All right.
Rock and roll, buddy.
So last time we had a beer called Chasing Lollipops, okay?
That's right.
Normally I can find, where these things come from. I looked all over the place. If you do a Google search, the number one return on Chasing Lollipops is Discourse Brewing Company. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I asked ChatGPT. I went to my normal places I go to figure out the origin of words. It seems to be an absolute original. Like, it's never been used. Chasing Lollipops has never really been used elsewise. So
maybe, well, I think sometimes lollipops and rainbows are put together. And people do say chasing rainbows.
Yep.
So maybe it's a takeoff on that.
Well, that's what ChatGPT said. That's exactly what you're like living, breathing, walking ChatGPT over here, Danny.
Better than that. We don't need no stinking AI.
It literally said it could be possibly related to chasing rainbows. Anyway, I also looked up Red Sky because I had my Red Sky t-shirt on last time. You said that's got to be a beer. So I looked it up. There are multitudes of beers
I would think so.
called Red Sky. So
Not surprised.
all different
I am not surprised in the slightest.
sorts and flavors all over the country. What year was the very first pod? 4/23/20, as you just stated.
That's right.
And I will. I wish there was a way that you would let me play a clip because I would play the clip on the next pod during the fact check. We may just have to do it. I might just play it through the speakers where you say that it was 2019 and I say it was 2020. So I'm gonna go back and find this, Danny.
Well, if you want to, that's fine. I'm wrong so seldom that I don't mind when I am. By the way, I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of that hat.
You don't like my hat?
No, I do not.
Oh, this is my lake hat, bro. You don't like this? This is a melon.
Not
okay?
really.
It's sort of
It's got a little island vibe to it. It's more. It's multicolored, which I don't necessarily dislike, but also
it's kind
the
of
whole
tie-dyed.
combination of it being an island vibe with you're sort of wearing it flat bill.
Yeah, it looks real good. You know, it looks real good,
You
buddy.
look like a tool, to be honest.
You know, I like it, Danny, and
There
you know
go.
that's all that matters,
If
buddy.
right. If something
Floats your
you
boat.
you put on a hat, it makes you happy. I'm all for it.
My wife likes it too, and that's really what
Well,
matters.
there you go.
So, speaking of COVID, as we were talking about when the pod started, you've been sick 3 times this summer. You're not sick anymore.
No, I'm not.
Talking to a doctor friend of mine, and he said COVID's been rampant, and everybody just thinks it's this cold. You probably had COVID
I tested
at least once.
every time. I'm not saying the tests were right, but I did test because my wife is sensitive to it. I might not have tested, but I did each time.
So I went and looked on August 10th of this year, and this is on the CDC website, so whatever, leave your emails to yourself. That on August 10th, it was the third highest test rate of positive tests ever since it started. So there's like a spike at the beginning, a spike a year later, and then this spike this year in August. It was like something like 16 or 17% extrapolated population had COVID on August 10th in the United States. I mean, that's a lot of COVID.
That is.
It also shows you it's just a cold now, so whatever. Okay, so last time we talked about Marilyn Monroe, Danny,
There's
and
nothing wrong with talking about Marilyn Monroe ever.
we're talking about Some Like It Hot,
That's
right?
right, yes.
And you're the expert on the older movies, right? And so I said, is that the one where they escape New York because it's too hot? And you're like, I don't know about that. And you gave me a plot synopsis that basically said a couple of guys are trying to come on to some girls, and it's a big scheme to kind of get these girls, and so they dress in drag and they travel with a band.
Right.
That was your synopsis.
That was kind of it. Yeah.
You're mostly right. The impetus for them to get on the train with this band and dress as women is because they witness a mob shooting, and they're trying to get away from these mobsters, right? And then it does turn into them using it to try to get laid.
Good for them.
So I did read about that, and it did say that it was pretty transformative of a movie because it barely got past the boundaries of the production code, which you know about the production code.
Yeah, I mean, the production code has evolved over time, but it started at about 1934, 33 or 34. It was called the Hays Commission. And if you watch talking films from the time talkies started until the Hays Code, there's some unbelievably risque stuff.
Really?
I mean, yeah, that's when Mae West made her dirtiest movies with a lot of super, for the time, hot innuendo. Women are walking around in these lace negligees with
next to nothing.
no bra on. I mean, there were nipples a-flying. I mean, and then they said, enough of this. I mean, you're watching some of these movies from the 30s, even after the Hays Commission, when they, would have musicals and they'd be set on an island or something. And you just know that part of the appeal to go to these films for, like, I'm sure teenage boys, too,
yeah.
was like, you didn't... there wasn't that much skin around. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, so it changed, and that's when you started to see, husband and wife would have to be in separate beds and all that dumb stuff. So
hey there, Danny, let's go down to the talkie and see some